Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Thursday morning, bright and breezy, which means it must be the Chatbox Breakfast Show. And here we are again on another Thursday morning. It's been a little while. I think this show's been running for quite a while. I sense an anniversary coming. And have we got a show for you as always? Excited, my friend?
Of course, always excited. It's great to be back in the studio. Every Thursday morning, we've been here for nearly almost 2 years. Our 2-year anniversary is approaching very, very soon. And I think officially it's in the next couple of days, but we're going to do it in style. We are going to party the night away, or as it will be, the breakfast show away. In a couple of weeks' time, we're going to have our official 2-year birthday party. So look out for that. Come and join us. Pop some party poppers and have a slice of cake on us, and maybe just a wee sherry in the morning as well.
Imagine us getting off our faces on sherry live on the breakfast show. 2 years. I'm looking forward to celebrating that, mate. We haven't aged a day. We may have aged more than that, but not a day. Not a day. Lots happened in that last 2 years. Ladies and gents, it's always been designed around you, the lovely audience. We started this show off as the home of conversation to encourage audience participation, either through emails or traditional communication methods, but live during the show, you get the chance to comment in whatever platform you may be watching, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. You should be able to have a conversation with us, and we will interact with you live on the show. Be really interested to hear what's it been like for you over the last 2 years. We're going to be talking a lot about business travel today, and that is must be massive changes, because 2 years ago, this was all we could do. But now it's busy out and about, mate. I don't know when we're going to find time to do more shows.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like that. Feel a bit time poor at the moment. It's good. It's a really good thing because it's bubbling. It's busy. There's lots going on, and quite often, sometimes on this show, we do pick up some of the news stories and stuff like that. But we've been avoiding them recently. For the last probably 7 or 8 shows, we've kind of said, don't worry about the news, not important. Let's talk about the good stuff that's happening out there. And we've been out, Nick and I have been out pretty much all this week so far. Lots of stuff scheduled in here, there, and everywhere. It's busy, which is a really great thing. But what I'm also sensing when we're out and about and we're talking to people, we're running our training masterclasses and stuff like that, is it is quite vibrant out there. There is a good buzz and a good feeling in the air. I know it's still challenging at other ends of the spectrum as well. But let's look on the bright side of life. It's bubbling, it's busy, and the future looks very, very fruitful as well.
You can't use the word fruitful, mate. Not at the moment. Not at the moment. It's just rubbing people's noses in it. You can't mention the fruit word. Yeah, it's quite hectic. I oddly enough, mate, I've been with you more this week than anyone else on the planet, including my family. I've spent more time with you than anyone this week. It's been great. It's been great.
It has been great.
I don't love my family, but it's good to be busy. And hopefully, ladies and gents, you've been busy too. Go on, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll talk more about what we've been up to, but it has been great. You're dead right, Nick. We spent more time together this week, and we've got so much more scheduled in between now and the end of March as well, which is fantastic. But we've been doing a lot of traveling, and this show is all about travel. We've been traveling here, there, and everywhere. The difference is we've been traveling by road, driving to our destinations, in some cases, walking, of course. But our show is featured around something a little bit more extravagant today. If you like to fly, and for those that do not like flying, well, then this show might not be for you. Because we're going to be talking about flying in planes and helicopters this morning, and another way of travel to your business destination, not just for business, by the way, but also for pleasure and leisure. We've got a guest that's going to come on, an expert from the travel world, from London Jet Charter, and talk more to us this morning about why maybe your next destination, or travel to that destination, could be by private jets or by private chartered helicopter, and the benefits of that. I'd love to know. Does it mean we get through the lines, the security lines quicker? Do we avoid the bag searches? Do we walk straight on? And unlike Ryanair, we're not all dashing for the one seat at the front. We'll find out more in a short while. But what's travel look like for you, Nick? Have you got any plans in the calendar? Actually, I know you have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Very soon.
As the world opens up, and I know a lot of people have really kind of grasped the opportunity to do all of the things that they weren't able to do during the pandemic. So I think people have really kind of ramped up their ambition. I'm going to go here. I'm going to do this. So work-wise, plenty going on, which requires being out of the office, which is lovely. But yeah, I'm not holding back. I've got lots of places to go, lots of things I want to do and go and see. It's snowboard season for me again. So I'm hoping that snow starts to fall and the chosen destination. So yeah, really looking forward to kind of getting out and about and stretching my wings. I've never been in a private jet though. You do kind of see them if you're going anywhere. You see them on the tarmac, and they look really cool, right? Really cool. I imagine that you've flown private, mate, to various venues. You're a rock star. You are. I imagine it's your chosen method of transport. I imagine.
I have been on a charter flight, not one of the. I can't even know what the models are, but I haven't been on one of those very small, kind of very extravagant, sort of 9-10 seater flights. I've been on a private plane, and that was an experience. And there was just a few more people. I think it was it's seated about 30 or something like that. But yeah, that's as close as I've got to it. And that was for leisure, not for business. I'm not quite in that world of extravagance. But maybe it's because I don't realise that I could be, or we all could be. So we'll find out more. So you're off to the snowboarding world where there's no snow. So you're not around next week, or you're going to probably join us and pop in and show us the mounting rubble with no snow on it. But look forward to you.
Come on, there might be a load of snow. There might be a load of snow.
Fingers crossed for you. There is absolutely. So what I'd like to know, if you're sitting at home now, maybe working from home, maybe you've entered the office. Maybe you're just starting your breakfast, your cup of coffee, your cornflakes, or your slice of toast. What is it that you're up to this year? Have you made that bold move that now restrictions have eased? The pandemic now seems a distant memory, even though it seems like COVID is on the up. I know lots of people have now picked up the recent COVID strain that's going around. But have you made that bold move to book a holiday, maybe for your own vacation with your family? Maybe you're getting back out there to the business world and doing that international travel, going off to maybe your other locations, offices, meetings, whatever that looks like. So let us know. Tell us in the chat what it is that you've got planned this year. We'd love to know where you're off to. Make us jealous. Tell us your final destination. It'd be really interesting to know what people are up to.
Tell you what, mate, we have in the green room a rock and roll superstar. We have May King back again, who's no doubt been very used to private jets here, there, and everywhere. She's a rock star in the world of FOMO. She's been traveling recently. Be great to get her back on the show to just see how the world of social media and beyond is going for us and for everyone else.
Let's bring her on. Let's not leave her hanging any longer. May King, welcome back this week. How are we doing this week, May King?
Good morning, chaps. Oh my gosh, thank you for making me laugh this morning. Jets? I don't think so. Maybe one day.
Yeah, one day. May King, what are we been missing out on? The FOMO queen. Looking after all that social media from Twitter to Facebook to LinkedIn. I've been following some of your stories this week. But what have you been up to? And what's happening out there in this world that we should be very jealous of because we are not involved?
Well, what you've been missing out on this week. I've actually been delivering a lot of training. So for the past 2 years, I've been delivering training on how to use how to use FOMO to fundraise for your local cricket club. And I didn't realize until I received an email last week that there's been over 1,000 young people who've attended my trainings for the last couple of years. And it's been incredible because some of the cricket clubs have been sending me their stories of how they've embraced, my teachings and really tried to, put themselves out there on social media to let the world know what they're fundraising for, whether it's for the cricket club or whether it's for charities like the Ruth Strauss Foundation or Cardiac Risk in the Young, and how the training has made an impact on their fundraising and their confidence. So that has been amazing. And I've been delivering some training this week as well to 50 more young people as well. That has been incredible. And I've also been delivering some training too a company, a plastic weldings company, on how to use FOMO as well. And their social media has really changed and has made an impact just by adopting a couple of my principles. So that's been incredible. So it's been a FOMO training week this week for me.
It's great, and it's great to be out and about again and interacting with lovely humans, either online or face to face if you get the chance. And I tell you what, it's massively rewarding, and I can hear it in your voice making. Is when you've delivered stuff, right? You've kind of all of your knowledge and experience, and you've packaged it up and delivered it in a way that kind of really resonates with an audience. And then months later, you hear back, oh yeah, we're now doing it this way, and this is happening, and we've raised more money, and I'm far more confident, and it's just so much positivity comes flying back, thinking, yeah, this is rock and roll. This is. I might not be on a private jet yet, but this is pretty rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, and supporting the hat there this morning, the rock and roll hat as well. Let's just pick up on a story I did pick up through my mailbox this week. Social networking, because obviously it's an area that most of us are tapping into. Most of you will be sitting at your destination at this point. See how I'm trying to link all this together? Sitting at home or in the office. Maybe you're on the train, the bus. Hopefully you're not driving, but you're listening, watching this show. Social networks are now adding paid for versions. Now, we've heard of it on Twitter. To get your blue tick, you have to subscribe. Elon Musk brought that in very recently. But these services now, these extra perks, early access features, added security, all are coming at a cost. And Facebook, Meta, so Facebook and Instagram have announced that they're going to start charging $14.99 per month. So that for the US, $14.99. It'll probably be £14.99 in the UK, and the same in euros. It seems to keep that trend of $14.99. And you're going to have to pay for a verified account now. Now, it doesn't mean, by the way, you can't use Facebook. It just means that you'll keep the resources, but those that pay will get a lot more features and functionality and extras. But they're also saying, as time ticks on, that stuff that we're used to is going to start to be removed. So we're going to get less features and functions as a freemium user. So keep an eye on that. I'm not quite sure how that's going to unfold, but what it means is that these platforms, where they used to be free, are now going to be charging because they need to make a revenue stream. We know they're losing money because advertisers are advertising less, probably thanks to the likes of Apple, who have now put in ways to obviously filter out all those important ads that make them money. So we're in a changing world. So if you want your blue tick, if you want to be verified, it's going to cost you $3.99 a month for Snapchat Plus if you're a Snapchatter. Facebook, $14.99. And we know that the Twitter one, I think, is still coming in at $8 per month. So what do you think about that, May King? Are you going to be signing up for these verified accounts or just carry on as things are?
Well, it's the ultimate way of generating FOMO, isn't it? If you do subscribe to have that blue tick, then it instantly gives you an air of authority, doesn't it? But for me personally, it is a bit of a vanity check, to be honest. And I think we were talking offline earlier, some of the advantages of being subscribed on Facebook, or Meta, as it's called now, is increased conversations, isn't it? So basically, they're telling you that if you don't pay for the verified tick, then your engagement on social media, on Facebook, Meta, is going to go down even further. So they're giving priority to those who are paying. Now, Nick, how did you describe it?
Well, if
It was
you
a
if you can get
private.
private health for social media, if you want extra
Yeah,
better services, you can pay for it. For me, it looks like private health. If you can afford it and it's important to you, then there's an option to have better services available.
exactly. So you have to pay for increased engagement on social media. That's basically what they're trying to tell you, whether it's Twitter, on Facebook, or the other paid platforms as well. It just means that for us as business owners, we just need to get better at engagement on socials. But of course, with you, Nick, you're probably going to encourage people to actually get out and talk to people more. We don't need to just use social media for our business. We need to actually get out and talk to people. So I think that I personally wouldn't subscribe to begin with. But if things go, if they are moving a lot into the private health of social media, then I think it's probably inevitable if we want to maintain and be relevant on the socials, then we will have to pay for it ultimately. But for us, it just means that as business owners, we need to work harder and just get better at getting into conversations if we want to continue to use the free version, really. So I won't be paying at the moment, but maybe in the future. But it's the ultimate way of generating FOMO to have that blue tick. It's giving you instant credibility, is what I think.
I think it'll come. I think there'll come a point where if you want to effectively interact on a platform, there will be a cost associated with it, like most things. And it may be a good thing, it may be a bad thing. It probably sounds a bit shocking for people that have got it all for free at the moment. But I guess if the service improves, and LinkedIn does the same, you can pay a monthly fee to LinkedIn and you get extra features and stuff. And if you're serious about business, and LinkedIn's your platform, then you'll pay that money. And I guess what it might do, if there's a free version over here and there's a paid for version over here, the people who are serious about it, the professionals, the people that aren't just trolling, maybe, will go to, let's say, a paid for space rather than a free space. Don't know. I'd be surprised if I went into the pub and I wanted to have a conversation with a buddy and he says, "Oh, if you want to talk to me," he pulls out a blue tick and says, "It'll cost you £5." I can't see that coming. Hopefully, human interaction is still free.
Oh, it just costs you £8 for a pint these days instead. It's the same sort of thing, really. But the crux of it is, if you're not paying, you are the product. There's no such thing as a free lunch. So if you're not, if you're going to start paying, getting your blue ticks and stuff like that, then you're not going to be the product. But if you're getting it free, like we all are now, we are being marketed to, we're being sold to. Our data is being captured, and probably to a degree, we know it happens with the likes of Facebook, we're being exploited. They know how many times we do what in a day because they're capturing that all-important data. Anyway, May King, we're going to let you go backstage and do that FOMO stuff that you do and make everybody wish they were here live with us in the studio. May King, we'll catch up with you very shortly.
May King, before you go, right, we've had a lot of very positive feedback, and not just about how cool you are and the stuff you do, but your laugh.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the
The
May
infectious
King laugh.
laugh. Brilliant. Right, we're back
amazing. Well,
straight
thank
after
you.
this. We're going to take a quick ad break. When we get back, we're going to bring our next guest onto the show, Terry Farthing. So be back in 1 minute. And that was the quickest 1 minute you ever have come across, by the way.
Time
It was
flies,
actually
mate. Time flies.
17 seconds to be precise. Anyway, welcome back. If you're just joining us from the comfort of your own home or maybe from your office, welcome to the Business Breakfast Show with myself, David Bell, and Mr. Nick Luby. We're approaching our 2-year anniversary birthday, and we will be celebrating in style in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have party poppers, banners, and birthday cake, and we might have a bottle of bubbly or two. But that's not this week. That's coming up on a future show. But this week, we are talking about business travel and how to travel in style. And who better to tell us a little bit more about that than our guest this morning, Terry Farthing. Please give him a big warm welcome. Joining us, I think, from his private jet. Good morning, Terry, and welcome.
Morning, Nick. Morning, Dave. Nice to see you both. I'm sat here in the office just waiting for the passengers this morning. I wish.
Now, Terry, to put us out of our misery, that is a virtual background, isn't it? That is
a virtual background.
I was looking at the breakfast. It looked fantastic. So, Terry, for all our listeners and all our viewers, tell us a little bit more who you are and what London Jet Charter does.
Well, my name's Terry Farthing, MD of London Jet Charter. What do? We fulfill people's dreams. We deliver the 5-star experience you'd always imagined flying by private jet and helicopter would be. We supply flights for individuals, groups, mainly in smaller planes. I know that you went off in one, I think it was a 30-seater. That would probably be about the largest ones we would do. We do lots of helicopters for events such as Silverstone, pop concerts, Isle of Wight, Glastonbury, etc. Just imagine you'll be picked up from your garden or paddock close by, flown down, bit of a sightseeing trip en route, and deposited where you want to go. Another thing we do is fly dine experiences. That's by helicopter as well, where you're picked up close to your home. You go off for a romantic meal at a nice country hotel. The helicopter waits and it brings you back. So that's generally throughout the summer. Most of the time we're doing private jets, flights by private jets, not just for business, but for, significant anniversaries, golf trips, you name it. That's it. I mean, it's a fantastic way to fly. And part of my mission is to see that you, David, Nick, and also Mary King can experience it for a fraction of the normal price.
Oh, this is sounding good.
But flying something like an empty leg. Yeah.
Now, that's a good one.
Yeah, what
empty
is
leg.
an empty leg, Terry? Because I've heard this term before, and I thought it sounds like a stag tour, right? When you're having a beer at breakfast and you need empty legs to get you through the day. Yeah. I guess it's not that.
Yeah, well, it could be. No, it's generally, the skies are full of empty aircraft going back to their bases. If you're going to fly off to Nice, the plane has to come back, or some of them will wait to get another set of passengers to go somewhere else. But generally, they'll come back to their base. They're called empty legs, and they can be got for a fraction of the price. I mean, we did 2 chaps recently to America, Teterboro in New Jersey from Luton. And I think that was about $44,000, which is, about a third of the price. And that was in a Gulfstream. But, we've done flights for, just a couple of thousand internal flights. Sometimes for people that, want to experience it, they want to go on, they want to take lots of pictures, they want to have pictures of them walking on the plane, do lots for social media and, just a very short trip. So we cater for all budgets. I can't afford to fly private myself, but...
I was going to say, I'm glad you cater for all budgets. $40,000 is not like pocket change. It's quite a lot of money, but what do you get for your dollar? Okay, we're on a private jet, we're going to be looked after. But there's more to it than that, I'm surely. I mean, right. When I did go, the experience is everything, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what would happen is, I would get all of your details. I would pre-clear you. So as basically all you need to do is turn up, your car can take you to the steps of the aircraft if you want. Or if you're going with a group of friends, they all leave normally from private terminals, which are quite luxurious. So you can sit there and have your Danish pastry and a couple of drinks, watching your aircraft get ready. You know, there's no queuing, there's no trudging around. You're just whisked off to the aircraft and off you go. On there, you know, there's VIP catering. You know, it's a fantastic experience, and people that have done it really then don't want to go back to scheduled flights. You know, it's as simple as that. So if you can afford it, it's great. But one of the other benefits, you know, in business, if you want to fly off, you're doing an acquisition, you can fly, you can work on the aircraft with colleagues, you can maybe go to 2 or 3 locations in a day. We go to smaller airports. So, you know, there's a much larger, you know, selection of places that you can go to get closer to your final destination. If your business meeting runs late, you know, the aircraft can wait for you and it can bring you back the same day. Whereas, you know, you would have hotel costs, you would have all sorts of problems if you were going in a small team off on business. So, you know, it can be very cost effective for businesses, definitely.
It's so at the start of the show, Terry. This sounds awesome. At the start of the show, we were talking about almost 2 years since we started this. When we started this, the world looked very different. You know, most of us were stuck at home, and we had more time on our hands. And for David and I, this was this was an opportunity for us to talk to more people. You must have seen some massive changes since those darker days. Is business back? Is it bonkers out there, or are people still a bit tentative?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, obviously COVID, even if someone, you know, you had the ability to fly, the rules and regulations were changing every day. It was ridiculous, really. I think most companies lost quite a considerable amount of money, but things have taken off, not necessarily business wise, that is picking up, but, you know, there's 3 sorts of people that fly. There's the people, you know, business, you know, that they'll need to get somewhere in a hurry. There's the people who, you know, significant anniversaries or just want to try it, you know, once and enjoy the experience. And then there's those that, because of COVID, they're absolutely frightened of, you know, touching anything. You know, there's very few touch points when you fly privately. You know, the aircraft are, you know, all cleaned, antiseptic. You know, if you don't want to have an attendant, you don't need it. You're traveling with people, you know. So people that, you know, have had a fear of COVID, you know, that they've seen the benefits of flying privately. But yeah, it's definitely taking off. I mean, I can see when I look at flight radar, whenever I do a flight, you know, I look to see where the aircraft is, whether it's going to arrive on time, once it's got the clients, you know, when it's going to get to its destination. And you can see that many of these aircraft now are doing sort of like 4 flights a day, 4 or 5 flights a day, which is incredible. Whereas before, you know, they were being quite happy to do 1. So, you know, to get the slots, you know, it's really quite difficult sometimes because it is very busy. At the moment, it's really busy with the ski slopes, you know, flights to Sion, Chambéry, Nice, etc. So, yeah, it's up and down, but it's definitely, you know, increased considerably over the last year. And it's very difficult to get internal flights. The reason being is because of Brexit, whereas previously, you know, an aircraft, when I look for options, you know, we might have an aircraft that's registered in Malta that will be dropping someone off in London at Farnborough or Biggin Hill, and they could then have picked someone up and taken them up to Edinburgh, and then from Edinburgh it could go off to Amsterdam to pick someone else up. Well, that can't happen now, so it has to be a G-registered aircraft. So, you know, many of the aircraft operators in the UK decided to move their aircraft and have the AOC and which is the aircraft operators certificate and registered over abroad because it's a bigger market. So if you just wanted to fly from Newquay up to Dundee, you know, prices have significantly increased, really, not only because of the cost of fuel, but because of the lack of availability of G-registered aircraft. So that's been, you know, one issue that we've had. Hopefully that will be resolved. But at the moment, you know, you can't have foreign carriers come in, pick someone up, do a domestic flight, and then go off again.
So this is another failing of Brexit that was probably an oversight. Maybe people were aware of it. I mean, look, let's not get political on the whole Brexit thing, but all the time now I'm hearing stories that are more and more challenging for businesses like yourself and larger organizations to be able to do what they do well because of red tape that's been introduced because of the Brexit scenario. And we know energy costs, fuels it more expensive as well, which is putting prices up. But Brexit's impacted your business. COVID impacted it, of course.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, all these things have impacted it, but the thing is, it's certainly taking off. And, I try to just concentrate on the positives in life. We can all sit around moaning about Brexit, this, that, and the next thing. I'm sure that these bits with the flights will be resolved over time. Some people are just being quite difficult over it. But, I try not to even think of the negatives because you could sit there and bring yourself down, couldn't you? Get all depressed. So part of my philosophy is to deal with positive people like yourself.
Absolutely. If you could sit having your breakfast, reading the news, which I constantly remind myself not to do that. I do it on a Thursday morning just in case there's something that we need to talk about on the show. Oh God, that brings you down. One of the things, Terry, thank you very much for filling in the form to say this is me and this is what I do. One of the things that fascinated me, I did many things on your form, but I'm a human-centric communicator. So the turn of phrase you used, one of your most memorable moments, being able to row my own boat through life. Now, for our lovely audience, can you just expand on that a little bit? Because from a business owner's perspective, I think I might get what you mean by that, but being able to row your own boat through life.
When I left school, I went and became a press photographer. And I got the Oxford Street bomb blast, and it made me think, I think I'll go and be a war correspondent, as one does. So I joined the Marines, and I spent a lot of time in the Marines, and I got my green beret, and it gave me a different outlook on life, that you can do or be whatever you want to do, really. And you can't make fine steel without putting it through fire and water. And that's what they tended to do in the Marines. And you come out with a completely different mindset. And, I've done what I've been happy to do. And when I've suddenly changed my mind, I've gone off to do something else. And I think it's just having that belief in yourself that you can drive things forward. You don't necessarily need to depend on other people. I've worked for, a couple of companies. And to be honest, I've worked for myself so long now, I think I'd be unemployable. But it is a state of mind. Yeah. And some people are just so scared to take a risk, and what happened with me, I had a property business at the airport that I'd started, and I built that up over about 20 years. And I found that, I just suddenly turned into a HR man, which wasn't really what I'd signed up for. So I just decided one day, I was looking out the window, I was seeing the planes taking off at Stansted, and I thought there's not much difference between, a property rental business or an aircraft. The aircraft is the house, the landlord is the owner, and the tenant is the people that want to, go and fly. And we put some adverts in, and funnily enough, we got some takers. So I would stand there at Stansted with my fingers crossed, hoping that the aircraft would land, because these people had paid me loads of money. I'd given it to the operator. And, I really at that time didn't know what I was doing in life. But I have since gone off and got all sorts of qualifications as a broker. And, it's just something that I've found exciting. And, I'm 67 in April. And I think you've got to find something that you're passionate about, that you want to do, and that, makes you happy, and you're happy to get up in the mornings and go to work. And even during COVID, when, nothing was happening, I was still coming into the office every day. I was planning, I was scheming, I was trying to row my boat, off to find, more fish, let's say. So, yeah, I mean, that's the sort of philosophy I've lived by. And I think it would be a good idea for lots of people, if they're thinking about making a change, just to go and do it, and once you've made the decision, your life can change beyond all recognition, really.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about obviously working for people, the Royal Marines, Green Beret, amazing. What a journey you've had, that rowing your boats, one oar at a time, as some would say. Talked about setting up your business and now you would be unemployable. Totally agree. I've only really ever worked for myself, done paper rounds in the past, but not much more than that. What advice would you give to someone watching this and listening to this now, if they are considering starting a business? Maybe they've been working for somebody, it doesn't matter what age they are, they could be later on in life. What advice would you give them? Would you say just go and do it, or avoid it like the plague?
I would say surround yourself with positive people. It might mean you losing a few friendships, but negative people. Lots of people don't want to see you succeed. They don't want you to anything you go to do. They don't really want you to change. They want you to stay the same you are. So, find positive people, and if possible, find a mentor in whatever you're going to do who's been there and done it, and you can cut through an awful lot of problems that way. But and just give things a try. The world isn't going to end tomorrow just because you've made a mistake and you've left a wage slave job that you didn't like to try something else. You will grow from it, and definitely. But also the chances are of failure, when you look at the statistics, are pretty high. So you might have to try a few times, but you learn from your mistakes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, show me a business owner that hasn't made mistakes, and I'll show you someone who hasn't started yet. And I totally agree, Terry. Surround yourself with positive people. As they say, you are the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. So have a look around, right? Who are they? And the average is you. That's why I spend so much time with David. It makes me a better person, you see. I'm rock and rolling now because every time I get up, there's a very good chance I'm in his company. Especially these days, we joined at the hip. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I said to my young son, who he's just started a new job as a mechanic for Land Rover Jaguar, and his mum is always, be careful, and I said to him, look, I can't wait till I make my next mistake, because that's how I'm going to learn. And I think he's going to do very well. But yeah, you're right. That one about the 5 people, I'll have to assess who I knock around with now.
But you're in good company this morning, Terry. That's what we can say. The 3 of us here, that's a start. Making, sitting backstage, doing all the FOMO stuff. So the 4 of us, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. You talk about mistakes, and you mentioned that mentor or a business advisor. I think you used the word mentor, and you say that one of your failures or your mistakes was not finding a mentor or someone that could assist you and help you sooner. So would you be giving that advice to others? Find that mentor, find someone who can take you under their wing, help you, guide you?
Yeah, someone who's gone on the same journey as you want to go on. They've obviously made the mistakes and they've learned from them usually. And, a little bit of guidance, because obviously it's all happening in your own head. And if someone has been there, they've done it before, they can question, look, I did try that. It didn't actually work. You might want to try it, but I would think that this is the way that I went. And that's, that was the outcome. You can cut down an awful lot of time and messing about if you can find someone that can give you a bit of guidance that, has done the same as that you want to take on, really, or something similar. Yeah. Just experience.
There's not much. There's not much we do anymore without checking. We won't buy something for £1 from Amazon without reading the reviews. So that knowledge of people that have been there before, from I'm going to go somewhere on holiday. Do I know someone who's been there? I'm going to try this. Do I know someone who's, who knows what they're doing? Just a crazy good option for saving yourself some time, potentially not making the same mistakes someone else has made. And any business owner, that certainly all the ones I know of, more than happy to share the ups and downs of their journey, just to help people avoid some of the stuff that they got wrong. It's good to share, and if I can help someone avoid a mistake, then I certainly will.
Yeah,
having that sounding board. it's a sounding board, having that mentor or that someone at your side. And going back to the group of 5 that Nick was alluding to earlier, having someone that you can just share some of those challenges with, having someone that when you have a good day, you can celebrate it with as well, because that's super important that we do celebrate even the small successes as well as the huge successes as well. And of course, if you've got huge successes, then hire a private jet and celebrate them in style. Or get a helicopter and go for dinner, whatever that might look like. Terry, the clock is ticking. It is against us, always against us. You might be aware that we're putting a book together, and actually we're closing the entries come this Sunday, my birthday, just to let everybody know. It's my birthday on Sunday. At the same time, we close the entries for our books of your top tips. Now, Terry, top tips. You've given us quite a few as we've spoken this morning, but if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self or someone that you would want to support and mentor, what one top tip of many would you suggest that you would share with them?
I think to enjoy your life as you go along, and try not to worry too much. You only get one life. You can sit around worrying as much as you want, really, but you've got to find something that you enjoy doing, and you won't really know until you try it.
Yeah, enjoy life. My dad always said that to me. Too much work makes Jack a dull boy, and you've got to go out and have a balance. Enjoy life. Of course, we all need to work to put food on the table, roof over our head, and have a lifestyle that we're accustomed to. I agree with you. Nick, what's your motto? If you're not having fun, if you're not being courageous, then you won't do it.
Yeah, that's my my box ticking for, will I work with this client? Are they courageous? If not, it's no point. And does it look like it's going to be fun? If I've got 2 ticks in both of those boxes, then it's a very good chance I'll enjoy the work.
So fun it is. Fun it is.
It's the same with the show, right? Are we courageous? Yes. Are we having fun? Yes. As soon as we stop doing either of those 2 things, we need to have a serious word of ourselves, don't we? We need to have a big rethink. Because you're right, Terry. One go, right? Not a rehearsal. One go at this. Are you having a good time? Right? And if not, change direction. Right? Do something different. You mentioned wage slaves who hate their job, who are petrified of making a change. And I don't understand it, right? I appreciate people are risk averse and change is scary, but you hate what you're doing and you still don't want to make a shift. I don't get it. I don't get it. And then oddly enough, once you've made the shift, I don't know what I was worried about. Turns out it's not scary after all.
Yeah, and I think, if you're doing something that you don't enjoy, I mean, I see it in the offices I'm here now. There's a couple of companies, you only need 1 or 2 people who aren't enjoying their work, and it just brings everybody down, So, they'll be better themselves going off and trying something new. Definitely.
Everyone in the office, by the way, now is going to leave and set up their own business. None of them will turn up tomorrow. Right, Terry said, let's do it. Terry, last question for you to wrap up our time with you this morning. How can people find out more and get in touch? And I can help you a little bit with this.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to deal with all matters. So if someone rings me up and they want any advice, I mean, we deal with lots of PAs and EAs. And obviously, I'm a great believer that, they're the decision makers in many companies. So, they'll turn around, the principal will say, I want to go off to wherever, can you look into it? It may be the first time they've done it. I would ensure that when they go back, they're an expert and they can make the right recommendation. I would go through all the options and it would depend on what someone wanted to do. So, for instance, if somebody's an individual who's thinking about flying somewhere, I can go through everything that they'll need to consider, before doing it. So I can be reached on my phone 7 days a week. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy sharing it with people, and I will try to give them best advice to ensure that, when they do fly with us, it's just, a great memory. I've made their dreams come true, and they'll come back again.
Yeah, brilliant. So if you want to find out more, you can get in touch with Terry at londonjetcharter.com. More information there. Reach out to Terry to book your next flight, whether that's by private jet, by helicopter. Do you do hot air balloons yet, Terry?
Not yet. Not yet. We don't do any Chinese ones at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of them floating around.
Availability's gone down a little bit. Yeah, the market is inflated.
Terry, been a pleasure having you on here this morning. Thank you so much. Have yourself a great Thursday. Enjoy the rest of the week. And no doubt we'll catch up with you soon. We're going to have to come on one of your planes and we'll report live whilst we're in the sky flying high.
Yeah. Cheers, Nick. Cheers, David. Have a great week.
Thanks, Terry. Bye-bye. Brilliant. There you go, Nick. So your next flight, when you're off to Geneva to go and do your snowboarding, you could do it in style.
Yeah, I already booked my flight some time ago. So maybe our birthday celebrations, we should we should have a word with Terry and see if we can find an empty leg that goes from Stansted to Basildon. Yes, that's all we need.
Just out of interest, Nick, who are you flying with then?
BA.
Oh, very nice. It's not the Rush and ragged Ryanair then.
No, later in the month.
Another on-time flight when it lands.
Later in the month. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. It's a bit of a lottery at the moment. Air travel. They've certainly. It's another industry that's had its issues. So great top tip from Terry there. At the top of the tips book, ladies and gents, if you've not got your top tip across to us, you still have time. It'd be lovely to consider your top tip for top of the tips. It's coming. We've been talking about it for a while. It's coming. And if you want to be part of this publication, be a published author, we'd love to hear from you. All right. Ideally, it's your top tip, right? It's something you live by, not something you've heard, and share it with us, and we will put it in the mix for the top of the tips.
Yeah, and I popped that link in there to access the Google form, which you go on and you pop your top tip in and tell us a little bit more about who you are and stuff like that. It's in the chats, so you can click on it and send us your top tip, and we will consider it for the book that's coming very, very soon. To a bookstore and online near you. I'm getting good at this rhyming, by the way. It just seems to be just flowing this morning. Just
all DJ today. Yeah, it must be your birthday coming up, mate.
Yeah, that's what it is exactly. There we go. Well, let's bring May King back on just for a final summary of what's been happening out there in the world of FOMO. May King, have people been missing out? What have they been missing out on this morning?
Have we gone viral, May King? Have we, with our nonsense chit chat, gone viral?
No, we haven't. But gosh, wasn't Terry amazing? His advice was just so inspirational to people who've just started a business, but people who've been in business a while. So do something you enjoy. I absolutely loved your advice too, Nick, with taking on potential clients. So if you think it's going to be enjoyable, are they courageous? If not, then you're not going to take them on. I love that advice. So yeah, I think it's been an incredible show. And yes, I look forward to my first private flight, whatever that will be.
May King, we're on it. We're sorting it. You can imagine the three of us flying up in that sky. The breakfast looked amazing in the plane Terry was sitting in, and we could be sitting there broadcasting the live show. Few connectivity issues. Yeah. We might have to do a pre-recorded version, but God, we would have fun and we would be courageous.
Absolutely.
May King, as always, thank you very much for joining us, keeping the FOMO going, telling people what they're missing out on. May King, if people want to find out more, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, if I'll do a little bit of a plug, this afternoon on my FOMO Creator Show, I'm going to be talking to the incredible Tim Hughes, who is going to be talking about how to use social selling for B2B businesses. So we're going to be talking about how social selling and FOMO can work for your B2B business. So that's going to be live at 3:00 on LinkedIn and other social media channels too.
Brilliant. Friend of the show, Tim Hughes. He was on the show a few months back, flashing his book, which was brilliant. Say hello from David and I, and Absolutely. That sounds awesome. How do we tune into that, May King?
Well, I'm going to be tuning in. I'm going to be live on LinkedIn, so it will be my featured post on LinkedIn, and I'm also on YouTube and Twitter, as well as YouTube is FOMO Creator Show, and Twitter as Making Tea.
Perfect. We'll get it in the chat, Making, pop it in there so people can click and join you later on this afternoon and enjoy it. Even
Absolutely,
more
will
fun
do.
with that infectious laugh. Making, thank you very much. Well, I think that's all we've got time for this week. Until next week, we're back here in the studio. Nick is, snowboarding on ice and rock because there's no snow. Nick, we'll see you at some point next week, hopefully in your ski gear, looking gorgeous. Making, see you next week. Until then, bye-bye from me.
Cheerio from me.